All right, so we're going to show you how to build your Rad.io pocket. It comes with a few things, the pocket itself, the retention pull tab, 2 Allen keys, the retention washer, a rubber spacer, a set of bolts, and some shock cord. I like to start this out by building up my retention pull tab. The retention pull tab's pretty easy to build. You're just going to shove this end through this lower slot here. Just bend it over like this. It's a little tricky, but this material is pretty durable. You're not gonna rip it. So shove it through that slot like so. Pull on it all the way to that lower set of notches. You can see it's kind of gonna fold on itself like that. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the top. You've got a little less slack to work with here, but just be patient. And you get a little bit through like that, and then you can just pinch it and pull it through like so. If it gets twisted up like that, just untwist it, and your final result's gonna look like that, where it kind of weaves in on itself. Now we're gonna put the retention washer on. So the cool thing about the Rad.io pocket is that you can put the retention washer on the front, low or high, or you can put it on the back as well. For this one, we're gonna put it on the front, on the low notch there. The steps are the same regardless. So I'm gonna start with this female bolt. I'm gonna stick it through the back here. I'll put that rubber spacer on, then set this retention washer on top. Next, I'm going to take one of my Allen keys and I'm going to put it on this back bolt here. This is a little bit of a juggling act, but once you get started, it's pretty easy. Through that hole. Sometimes you might make it, let's see the juggling act, that's what I'm talking about here. Okay, and while holding that back one, you're gonna tighten it up. And you'll feel it pretty much like hard stop. You'll know when that's done. You tighten it enough. So set your Allen keys off the side, you won't be needing those again. Now, I'm gonna open up that radio pocket, open up these adjustment wings here, and start sizing up my radio. So we want to get it good and snug. Looks good. And then we want to make sure that both sides of the pocket are lined up. This is important when doing the retention, otherwise later on when you do get it lined up, you won't have enough shock cord. So it's pretty good. We can go up a little bit more. Okay, perfect. All right, that's a good place to start. All right, let's grab my shock cord. I'm gonna start by tying just the end of one of these pieces here. And I'm gonna try to leave as little excess as possible. Even if I gotta roll the knot over on itself a little bit, I'm just gonna leave a little bit because there's no reason to waste that. Okay. So I'm going through the back of the pouch. Start this out here, around the side, then go through the front of the back of the pouch. Okay, this is when the retention tab comes into play. You put that on, you're starting to see how this is all gonna fit together here. While I'm doing this, I like to kind of readjust the slack here because it gets a little bit tight at the end. So having a little bit extra will go a long way. Okay, you don't need to worry about that too much. Sorry, it gets a little harder when you have these 3 antennas. All right, go. slack here. Come up to the front of our pocket, like so. And then I'm gonna start just adjusting this a bunch, getting some of this extra tension. Just give myself a little bit more room to work with. Okay, I'm liking where that's sitting. This part I like to mark where I'm gonna tie this knot. The reason I do this is because it's really hard to tie this knot with the radio in there. So it doesn't need to be perfect. I just like to know around about where I'm gonna tie that knot at. My retention feels good. Take this radio out of the pocket here. And I don't care that this fell out because I marked it, so I know right where it's gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get that lined up in the center there. Get it mostly tight. You don't wanna get it super, super tight yet because just in case you did it wrong, you wanna be able to go back and fix it. But I'm gonna test my retention here. I'll try not to get too caught up on all these antennas. I'm gonna pull that slack around a little bit. Try to get it evened up as best I can. And then we'll test this retention out, see how we like it. Yeah, pretty happy with that. One thing you can do too is like you can pull up in the center like that, even it out. Pretty happy with that. Pull that out here. And then we can finish this up. So I'm gonna cut this excess off here. Try to leave not too much. We're going to singe the ends here. You don't have to go overboard, but just so it doesn't fray. I'm gonna do that on the other one as well. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see what our hard work got us here. All right, perfect. And that is how you install the retention on your Rad.io Pocket.